Guys, it's almost 7:15 on your Wednesday morning. Let's talk about healthy living, because after a stroke or a brain injury, some people know exactly what they want to say, but they really struggle to find those words. And during Aphasia Awareness Month, Touro is sharing simple ways that families and caregivers can better communicate with and support their loved ones living with this disorder. And joining us today is speech language pathologist Elena Miller at Touro. Thank you so much, Elena, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
This is such important work that you do. Your patient population right now are people recovering from stroke and other situations. Tell us what they most need from you and their loved ones.
Yeah, so there's lots of different strategies that work for people with aphasia. It depends on the person, but some of the really great ones would be asking a yes/no question, asking a more simple question, writing things down so that they can not only hear what you're asking, but see it on paper. And a really, really big one is giving them extra time, because they need more time to understand and respond. We don't want to rush them. We don't want to interrupt them, talk over them. We want to have them have a chance to talk for themselves.
Patience is key.
Yes, it really is.
Talk about what aphasia is and why that happens after a stroke.
Yeah, so if the part of the brain that controls language is damaged, then it can cause aphasia. And this could be any brain injury or illness. A stroke is the most common cause, but it can also be a result of like a head injury, a tumor or surgery or dementia, any illness that causes or that affects the brain.
What is beautiful about this is that therapy can and does work for these patients. How long does it take you to feel like you got somewhere with a patient that's recovering?
Oh, that's a great question. It focuses on building rapport. So if I can connect with the patient over something that's important to them, something that motivates them, then we typically tend to make some more progress quicker. And it's also really important to know that recovery does take time. So a whole year after a stroke, a person is still recovering from aphasia, and even years later.
What is happening inside of the brain while it's healing and you're training it to get its speech and its thought process back?
So the brain works on lots of different neural connections. So when a stroke happens, the connections are damaged, and when we practice improving our language, we are reforming those connections. It's kind of like repairing a highway that's been out of commission for a little bit. The practice makes perfect mantra is really appropriate here. The more that you do it, the better you'll get at it, just like any other skill.
And I'm sure it's hard on loved ones to try to get their person back.
Absolutely.
Right? Talk about how much time you need to give your patient, yourself, before you can actually see that progress. What's a good expectation to set for your family?
I would say to focus on the small wins. It's not going to get better all the way overnight. And it takes a lot of grace for that person and grace for yourself as the family member, because there's trial and error involved in figuring out what works for that particular person, and what works for one is not going to work for everyone else.
Elena Miller, such a great conversation. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.